We also have this beautiful lady here who's a cancer survivor, Sonja Jovanovic, who's a cancer survivor and team member as well too, Tom Baker Cancer Conquerors, TBCC. Okay, here's the skinny. You're here.
I am. Lucky me.
And why do you say that?
Well, I don't think cancer is a death sentence anymore. I think that there's a lot of fantastic treatment out there, a lot more than there used to be for breast cancer. There's a lot of preventative measures people can take now that we know some of the genes that are causing cancer, breast cancer. But yeah, I am lucky because I actually didn't know I had a lump. I couldn't feel it. It wasn't there.
Just a regular checkup then?
I had a routine mammogram. Yeah. And yeah, and that's how it showed up. And actually the doctors couldn't feel it. Nobody could feel it. It was quite deep, so I was lucky.
Can you explain a little bit more of your journey, sort of from that point of discovering it and then over the following period of time?
That's actually, I'm glad you asked me that because I never get a chance to really, apart from being on these guys' team, I don't often get a chance to tell people what incredible care I had. I mean, it's not a job to these people. It is, and I don't just mean the oncologists. I mean, the nurses, the people in what they call the daycare where you go for chemo, the nurses, the administration, the receptionists, everybody, they treat you like family.
It's a level of understanding.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That's exactly right. It's that level of understanding. It's compassion, which is so important, right? But the Tom Baker, anyway, I went from diagnosis straight to surgery in a week. Goodness. I think I was in surgery within a couple of weeks, chemo within a few weeks, and I was very lucky I didn't have radiation, which can be brutal, but the care was fantastic. Yeah, absolutely great. And people, it's funny to say, but I do love the Tom Baker.
Now you have your experience, you have a lot of stories and messages, and I'm sure you speak to a lot of people as well too. What do you say to someone who's trying to help a friend who has cancer?
A couple of things that come to mind. One is make them laugh.
That's where Barry comes in.
That's what people like
Barry. Very
important. Always have Barry on hand.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, when I was going through chemo from Australia, sent me a bunch of flash drives with British comedy on them.
Fantastic.
And so, because when I was feeling really crappy and just lying on the sofa, I was watching these wonderful that laughter is so important. The other thing is bring food, because someone undergoing treatment is not going to want to cook for the family, for the kids. Take the kids out, you know. But the other thing is just listen. So the best support you can give is listen, and because I did find that some people were very, you know, they wanted to help, but they would give advice, and they would say, "I've heard about this great treatment. You've got to do it."
But they want to help.
I know. Yeah. But it's really hard to say, I don't want to do that. You know, I've got my awesome doctors I trust. I don't want to do this other thing. Or else they just say, you should be doing this, let me do that, let me do this. And it's all very, very helpful. But sometimes you don't know how you feel when you've got chemo. You don't know, from one day to the next, you don't know how you're going to feel. Every day is different. And so it's really hard. People think that you look as if you need a massage. You don't want anyone to touch you. Yeah. And then the next day, you just need a hug. So it's really difficult. So sometimes you just got to listen.
Dr. Henning, you can relate to this.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I mean, once the women come into us and we start educating them and transferring knowledge as opposed to information, there's so much information that they have to understand and accept and ultimately consent to. And so it's so true what Sonja says, you know, so somebody, and everybody wants to help, family, friends, if they bombard them with more information, they get so confused and overwhelmed, right? So absolutely listen and support, you know, just be there for that person undergoing treatments.
There's a lot of resources in Calgary, a lot of foundations and support, and that really surprised me, actually. It was almost like you jump onto this kind of podium, and suddenly there's all this stuff. Which is great. Breast cancer is huge in that respect, because it's huge in numbers, sadly, but it's also very well supported. The sad part is that cancers that are not so common, you know, may not get that support. But if there is support out there, search it out. decide whether you're going to use it or not. But search it out. There's so much information and so much support out
tough?
there. Actually, it wasn't.
No?
It wasn't. I had a friend help me. It was tough to do it on your own. I got girlfriends to help me to read the leaflets and just give me the lowdown, so I didn't have to read all the small
Support,
print.
yeah.
That's important.
Yeah, you can appreciate this as well too. I'm sure, Barry.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned humor. I've got I've got a dark humor story that with my father-in-law. Back when I first got together with my wife, we had a softball team, and her dad played on it, and but then he ended up being diagnosed with cancer, but he was still playing on the team, and we had a game where the other team didn't show up, so we just were playing around ourselves, and I'm known to razz people up, and I enjoy being razzed up by good friends and stuff as well, and I had a really good relationship with my father-in-law, Terry. So he came up to bat, and I was playing the field, and I said, "Okay, come on, cancer boy, hit it right here." And everyone went silent except for him. And he had to step back and take a break because he was laughing so hard, and then he got up. And like I say, it's a bit of a dark humor, but that was a relationship that I had with him, and my wife was laughing as well.
That's a great story. Sonja,